Good afternoon. Welcome to today's session, ANZ School Library Series, Flipster Digital Magazine Subscriptions. My name is Rachel Lowe, and I'm an EBSCO training specialist. My background is in education, midwifery, and library and information studies. I'm a certified librarian, and I continue to practice clinically as a registered midwife. Please note that today's session is being recorded. You may have noticed that your microphone has been automatically muted. If you have any questions as we're going along, please hit the raise hand icon at the bottom of your screen or go ahead and type your message into the chat box. Please don't feel like you need to wait until the end of the session to ask any questions. Feel free to jump in anytime. A bit later on today, you will be receiving from me an email with a link to the recording of today's session, a copy of the PowerPoint slides, and a link to an online evaluation. The online evaluation only takes a couple of minutes to complete, and if you're able to take the time to do so, we do appreciate it. Each one we receive is read through carefully, and we use them to help structure future training sessions. I've put together a few objectives for today's session. It is my hope that by the end of the session, you will be able to describe the Flipster platform, access the Flipster platform, and for library administrators, EBSCO Collection Manager. You'll be able to find magazines of interest. And again, for library administrators, you'll be able to order selected titles and renew existing subscriptions. And for everyone, you'll be able to locate help and support resources. So why are digital magazines important? It is very popular content for all demographics. And of course, for those who work in schools, we know that anything that gets kids reading is positive, and magazines are often a really popular reading material for school age kids. They contain trending and current information. You have instant access to new and back issues. And with digital magazines, you have no torn or removed pages. It is space saving. There's simple reporting and tracking functions, and it eliminates germ and bacteria exchange. So let's look at accessing Flipster titles, both on the desktop and on the Flipster app. Now, with Flipster titles, you can make them discoverable via EBSCO Host, EBSCO Discovery Service, or Explorer using EBSCO Smart Links. So most of what we will be doing today will be using Flipster itself, but you can make those titles discoverable on your other interfaces. And this is what it will look like if you do. So the search results will provide links to Flipster content if an article exists matching the search topic and the library subscribes to the magazine through Flipster and has the specific issue that is returned in the search. All right, so let's jump into a live demo now. So this is what the desktop Flipster looks like. So as you can see here, I've got my Flipster logo. I can search by keyword, by title, by category, by ISSN, or by publisher. I can search Flipster for magazine titles. And as you can see, I can explore categories here as well. I've also got my latest issues listed here. And there's mention of the Flipster app. If I click on Browse, it focuses on the Explore categories, and you have a Browse section here. So this is another great way to get students reading who perhaps don't know exactly what they're looking for, and if they're confronted with a search bar, they might not know where to start. So scrolling through this Browse section, when you find something of interest, let's have a look here at acoustic guitar. If you go ahead and click on the thumbnail of the cover, As you can see, this is the title of the magazine, Acoustic Guitar. It tells me that this is the July-August 2025 issue. It tells me the categories that this is in. So this is in entertainment, hobbies, interests, and DIY. Tells me the publisher and gives me some ISSN and ISSN information. I have a description of this magazine, and all issues are listed here. When I'm ready to read, I can click on Read Now, and this opens up the Flipster Reader. Now it tells me I'm on the cover, and I can page through using the arrows. Now you will notice that sections on the cover are hyperlinked. So if students find something that they're interested in, they can very easily jump to that. So let's say they're interested in 3 songs to play Simon and Garfunkel. Clicking on that takes you directly to that section, and you have the music for that here. And you can continue to page through. Now you'll also notice you are able to zoom in or out. And you'll also notice here, I can turn on the text view, which takes away the illustrations and graphics. I can also print. I can also see a listing of all issues. I can access the table of contents, and I can scroll through that. I can see the pages. You can also search within the issue, or you can search within all issues. And here with my settings, I can decide whether I want it to fit by height, by width, or fit to screen. I can also decide whether I want to show one page at a time or zoom out on a page change. And of course, the titles that you see will be the titles that your library subscribes to. And so let's say you've got young students who are interested in Highlights magazine. And again, when I click on that, I can see the most recent issue, I can see the category, a description, and previous issues. If I click on Read Now, again, it opens up the Flipster Reader. And again, this is hyperlinked. So if I see Ball Bonanza and I decide that's the article I want, I can click to go directly to it. Now you'll also notice with the categories, this is blue hyperlinked text. So if I want to find other magazines in the family and kids category, if I click there, this runs a search. And here I can see other magazines in that category. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you can also explore categories here. So let's say you have a student who's interested in diversity, equity, and inclusion. And here are a number of titles. And let's say I'm interested in brain train. I can click on that. And again, gives me my categories and gives me a description of this magazine. And this is a magazine aimed at empowering dyslexic children and teens. So you've got all issues here. And to read on it, again, you just need to click Read Now. And I can page through. And if I decide I want to print, Again, you can make the decision whether you want to print just the pages that are in view now or print all pages. So as you can see, it is a very user-friendly interface. Now, if I know that I want to search, let's say I'm interested in magazines to do with crafts. And as you can see, there's a number of results here. So I can apply some filters. I can filter by publisher. I can filter by language. And I can filter by category. So maybe I'm interested in craft magazines under hobbies, interests, and DIY. And I can go ahead and apply that filter. And as I'm scrolling through, I can see a number of titles there. When you find one you're interested in, again, you can go into Read Now. So as you can see, this is very user-friendly. Kids will be used to clickable links, and they will notice that they are able to click on these. So let's say I'm interested in seaside crafts, and I can see those listed there. All right, if you happen to know the ISSN of the magazine you're looking for, that is certainly possible as well. But let's just go back now to our slides. Now, there is also a Flipster app, which is available both in the App Store and on Google Play. There are many benefits of the Flipster app. You can access the library from any location. You can log in with library credentials for remote access. You can view all the library's Flipster magazines. You can download current and back issues to virtually any device, and you can switch between libraries. Now, I am going to try and switch to my mobile phone, so just bear with me for a moment. I did rehearse this earlier and it worked, so fingers crossed. Just bear with me. Okay, wonderful, and it is working. So I'm just going into my Flipster app here. All right, so if you go to Explore and click on the magnifying glass, you are able to type in a search term, and here I've typed in crochet. And okay, that wasn't a good example. All right, so here in my history, I have a couple of magazines that I downloaded earlier. One of these is Archaeology, and as you can see, this is the latest issue, the July-August 2025. It gives me a bit of a description of the magazine, tells me the publisher, the ISSN, the EISSN, gives me the category, and I can download more issues if I wish to. When I'm ready to read, I can simply click on Read, and I can scroll through. Now I can click on the bookmark here if I wish. I can also do the text view just as we saw with the desktop interface. And I can also see my contents. Now down the bottom, if I go back to my shelf, there's my two magazines there. And let's go ahead and explore again. I'm going to do a search for history. And let's say I'm interested in National Geographic. I can click on that. Again, it gives me the most recent issue, gives me some information about it, and I can download other issues as well. If I want to read it, I simply need to click on download. Okay, that's taking a little bit longer than I expected. All right, I'm going to stop sharing now. All right, so that is the Flipster mobile app. All right, now I do want to touch on ordering and managing Flipster titles. So for those of you who are library administrators and who are able to do this, you will need access to EBSCOhost Collection Manager. Now, if that's something that you don't have access to and you think you should, please contact EBSCO support. So to manage and order Flipster titles, you need to go to EBSCO Collection Manager, and you will see there that there is a magazines section. So that access is managed in EBSCO Admin in Admin Security. If you do not see that magazine option, then your role will need to be updated. And this is what this looks like in EBSCO admin in security. So that Flipster approver should be set to right role, and then you should have access. In the setting preferences, you are able to set your expiration month, and you will be able to order magazines. You can browse titles to locate a magazine you wish to order, and it's just like buying anything online. You would need to click on Add to Cart to proceed. If there are magazines that you are already subscribed to, they will say subscribed, and you will have an option to buy additional. If you are renewing your titles, you can renew all, or you can individually select each title to renew, and renewals are placed in the shopping cart. So there's a number of Flipster ordering frequently asked questions here. So can you get MARC records for your Flipster titles? Yes, you can. How long are back issues available for? And so on. There is a custom MARC form here, and it is recommended to send a sample MARC record and follow the steps as per the form. Now you can access Flipster usage reports, and they will be in the reports and statistics section of EBSCO admin. And I will send a link to that article that is linked there. All right, does anybody have any questions about Flipster? Well, thank you very much for attending today. I hope you found this session useful. As I mentioned, you will be receiving an email from me a bit later on this afternoon that will have a link to the recording of today's session, a copy of the PowerPoint slides, some links to some of those other items I mentioned, and a link to an online evaluation. Thank you so much for attending today.